We are kicking off today with WWE's deal with Saudi Arabia, which has always proven controversial, yet WWE's 2026 plans might take that to a new level. Fightful Select has reported that the company is set to run 3 premium live events in the country next year. This would mark WWE's biggest expansion yet in Saudi Arabia. The first event will be the Royal Rumble, which will take place in Riyadh this January. Now it's believed another 2 dates are set for May and November. The November date has instantly piqued people's curiosity, as that's typically the month when the Survivor Series takes place, traditionally held on Thanksgiving weekend in America. To avoid any controversy or upset talent, WWE insiders told Fightful that if Survivor Series does head to Saudi Arabia, it would be moved off Thanksgiving weekend, so talent wouldn't be sent internationally at that time. WWE's current contract requires it to host 2 Saudi Arabian premium live events per year, yet it appears WWE is willing to increase that to 3 in a bid to grow its international presence. Production is also set to ramp up for the Royal Rumble in the coming weeks as WWE prepares its most aggressive Saudi Arabian schedule yet, which the company will want to go to plan. What's your take? Do you think WWE should hold 3 PLEs in the year in Saudi Arabia, or is that too much? Sound off in the comments. Charles Robinson's unexpected involvement at Night of Champions became one of the most talked about moments of the night when John Cena tackled him mid-cash-in segment. The impact left fans stunned and left Robinson with a hurt shoulder. Thankfully, he's okay now. But in a surprising revelation, Robinson shared that Cena never apologized or even acknowledged the incident afterward. Speaking on the Raw recap show, Robinson opened up about the moment, explaining how it all came together behind the scenes. He revealed that he was simply standing near gorilla position, planning to help break down the ring after the show. As the match was progressing, Seth Rollins approached Robinson with the Money in the Bank briefcase and, with Bruce Pritchard and Triple H present, instructed him to be ready. He was told Cena would tackle him and that he should lay out on the floor upon impact. Sure enough, when Rollins gave the signal, Robinson sprinted toward the ring. Unlike his run at WrestleMania 24, which was just for a pin cover, this one was different. Robinson said he deliberately ran at 80% speed, knowing a full sprint could make the collision more dangerous. Watching the footage, he believes fans can tell he was holding back. As he raced down the ramp, something caught his attention. At first, he thought it was a camera operator, but the next moment, he was airborne. Only later was it confirmed that Cena had hit him. While in midair, Robinson had no idea what hit him, and it wasn't until he landed just inches from the steel steps that he realized how dangerous it could have been. He went numb from the hit, didn't feel himself hit the ground, and was later helped to his feet by another referee. His legs were shaking and his shoulder was in pain. But what truly upset Robinson wasn't the impact itself, it was Cena's silence afterward. The veteran referee believed he and Cena shared mutual respect, especially after Robinson officiated the match where Cena tied Ric Flair's world record against AJ Styles at the Royal Rumble. Instead, Robinson said Cena never spoke to him or apologized following the segment. "I thought I'm dead. I have no idea what happened. Like I said, I was running 80%, but 100% would have been different. If you look at where I landed, I was inches from the stairs. After John Cena planted me on the ground, I was numb when he hit me. I went numb. I did not even feel hitting the ground. Afterwards, I think it was the referee in the match who helped me out. My legs were shaking. I didn't know where I was." The really sad thing about this whole thing is, I thought John Cena and myself, we had a mutual respect for each other, especially since I refereed when he tied Ric Flair's title reign against AJ Styles at the Rumble. I thought we had respect, but afterwards, he said absolutely nothing. Nothing. As previously reported, the moment was met with laughter backstage at Night of Champions, likely due to the shock factor of the bump, but fans who have seen the clip know just how close the situation came to being far more serious. It was a memorable moment in every sense, yet some feel it's unfortunate that Cena didn't follow up with a simple check-in. What's your take on Charles Robinson's experience with John Cena at Night of Champions? Do you think Cena should have spoken to him afterward? Let us know in the comments. Chad Gable revealed he was undergoing surgery this week on Raw, and no time has been wasted as the American-made leader has already gone under the knife. Gable took to Instagram to update fans, where he shared a photo from the hospital and revealed the surgery was successful before adding, "I'll be back quicker than you can say gracias." Now, Asuka made her return to WWE after a lengthy injury hiatus, but things haven't gone as expected. She came up short in the Queen of the Ring tournament at Night of Champions and then didn't appear on the following episode of Raw, leaving fans questioning what's next for the Empress of Tomorrow. But the real surprise came when WWE revealed the official poster for Evolution and Asuka was nowhere to be seen. Despite being a breakout talent with huge fan support, Vaquer wasn't featured either. While a few other names like Julia, Piper Niven, and Maxine Dupree were also missing, Asuka and Vaquer stand out the most, one a proven veteran, the other a rising star with major momentum. With Evolution shaping up to be a history-making event, fans are left wondering why two of the division's most important names are being left in the shadows. Is there a surprise in store, or are they being sidelined? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Enjoying the video? A quick like goes a long way in helping us grow and deliver more wrestling news you care about. One superstar who was initially expected to appear in Evolution, especially with the event taking place in her home state, is now confirmed to miss the show. According to WrestleVotes, Liv Morgan will be sidelined due to a shoulder injury she suffered a few weeks ago. The report adds that she's expected to be out of action for 6 to 9 months, effectively ending any hopes of a surprise return at SummerSlam. With Liv officially out, it also puts an end to one rumored match that had fans buzzing, the Bella Twins versus Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez. In fact, that ties into another surprising update about Evolution. As WWE gears up for the historic all-women's event, fans are expecting a strong showing of legends. Trish Stratus is confirmed for the show, but according to Ringside News, WWE has not reached out to either Saraya, formerly Paige, or Brie Bella, two names heavily speculated to return. It's especially shocking in Brie's case given earlier internal talks about her possibly teaming with her sister for a match. However, reports suggest those discussions took place without Brie even being aware of them. Whether WWE brings in other legendary names remains to be seen, but with expectations high, the company risks fan backlash if Evolution doesn't live up to its potential star power. WWE is reportedly keeping close tabs on several AEW stars whose contracts are set to expire soon, and some familiar faces could be on the move. According to a new report from BodySlam.net's Cassidy Haynes, WWE is very interested in signing Danhausen, as well as the high-flying tag team Private Party, Isaiah Cassidy and Mark Quinn. Their contracts are believed to be up imminently, and sources suggest a potential move could happen sooner than expected. Danhausen's deal is reportedly set to expire this month, and WWE has already expressed interest. Meanwhile, Private Party is also on WWE's radar as their own contracts approach the finish line. With multiple mid-card and supporting talents potentially hitting free agency soon, AEW may face a critical period of roster decisions. The real question is, will Tony Khan hold the locker room together, or will WWE capitalize? Would you like to see Danhausen or Private Party make the jump to WWE? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. There's been a growing buzz about a possible heel turn for Cody Rhodes, especially after the American Nightmare previously hinted that his babyface run may be nearing its end. But now, Rhodes seems to be pulling back on those comments. While speaking on Busted Open Radio, host Dave LaGreca urged Cody to stop teasing a turn to the dark side, reminding him, "Cody, no more of this heel talk, alright? You're a hero to a lot of fans." Rhodes responded by saying most of the heel chatter lives only on X and that it's a deep and ongoing topic there. He acknowledged that in wrestling you can never say never, as everyone has the capacity to show both light and darkness. Still, he doesn't believe that's the direction he'll take with the time he has left in his career, though he left the door slightly open. You know what? One thing I noticed about that is that it only exists on X, and it's deep. It's a deep discussion. You never say never in wrestling, and plenty of people have the capacity for the light and the dark, but I don't know if we're on that road within the time that I have left in wrestling. Who knows though? With Bully Ray sitting next to you, you never want to say never. Earlier this year, The Rock admitted he pushed for a heel turn for Rhodes, but WWE shut the idea down, at least for now. With Cody now backtracking on earlier statements, fans are left wondering if a heel turn will ever happen at all. Do you think Cody should go heel before he hangs up his boots, or should he ride out his run as WWE's top hero? Let us know what you think in the comments. Now, AEW's Dynamite 300 is set to air this week, but the buzz surrounding the milestone episode feels underwhelming, at least according to veteran wrestling journalist Dave Meltzer. Speaking on Wrestling Observer Radio, Meltzer criticized AEW's lack of hype and build for such a major occasion. He pointed out that when WWE or UFC hit similar milestones, the promotions go all out with major returns, loaded cards, and heavy marketing. In contrast, AEW's effort feels flat. Despite announcing marquee matches like Kazuchika Okada versus Kota Ibushi and Mercedes Moné defending the TBS title, Meltzer argued that simply putting on strong matches isn't enough to make the episode feel special. He noted the absence of legends or surprise appearances, key elements that typically make milestone shows stand out. He speculated that names like Kenny Omega or Adam Copeland could have been used to create a big moment, especially after the Concerto angle with Copeland. However, AEW hasn't built towards anything along those lines, leaving Meltzer and others questioning the company's creative direction. Do you think AEW dropped the ball on Dynamite 300? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. In WWE NXT news now, WWE wasted no time in getting into the action this week as the show kicked off with Joe Hendry facing Wes Lee, while TNA World Champion Trick Williams watched on from the commentary desk. The WWE superstar is preparing to defend his title against both Hendry and Mike Santana in triple threat action at Slammiversary on July 20th, so he took the opportunity to do a little scouting. Williams watched Hendry dominate the match early on due to his size and power advantage, although Lee's speed saw him eventually fight back with a series of fast-paced moves that Hendry couldn't counter. However, Hendry's power proved to be too much as he began to throw Lee around after the break. Lee's friends attempted to get involved until Santana's music hit, and his interference opened the door for Hendry to win. It was a fairly basic match between the two men, although it did work as an ideal opener. It was fun and engaging, leaving room for the rest of the night to improve upon it. Recent weeks have seen the tension between Luca Crusifino and Tony D'Angelo rise, and this week it hit a boiling point as Luca told the Don he wanted to end the issue as he highlighted all the ways he's helped him. Stacks then came out to get involved, and that's when Luca lost his cool. He took out both men with his big right hands and claimed that from now on his loyalty is to himself and nobody else. Tensions within the group have now reached an all-time high, and all signs point toward a triple threat match between all three men to resolve the issue. Luca feels he's been supportive but has been held back by misunderstandings or bad timing. Tony is starting to act paranoid about everyone around him after Stacks' actions, with Luca taking the blame for most things. This could have been a breakout moment for Luca though, as the NXT fans were behind him and reacted well to seeing him finally stand up for himself. While the issues between Luca and D'Angelo continue escalating, many fans wonder where Adriana Rizzo is, as people presumed she'd have returned by this point. Now that Luca has seemingly quit the D'Angelo family, it's unclear what her role within the group is, or where her allegiances will lie moving forward, and her decision could shape where this storyline goes next. Elsewhere, former AEW star Lexis King was in action this week, fighting for his own pride now that the Heritage Cup isn't on the line. He faced another upcoming talent in Myles Borne, who debuted a brand new theme song here. The match was fairly even, reflecting where both men are on the roster. This led to a good back-and-forth encounter that hooked fans. It also ensured the match was tough to predict, keeping people engaged. While it wasn't a long match, they made it competitive, and that meant it was a memorable part of the show as Borne picked up the win. He added a new finisher here too, which was similar to the zigzag that Dolph Ziggler previously used. In women's action, newcomer Lainey Reid had her second ever match on the show against Thea Hale, who came out of the gate red hot in her usual hyper and excited manner. Reid fought back and tried to cheat her way to victory using the ropes to get a pinfall win, yet the official caught her. However, that didn't stop her from doing it again, and the second time worked as she got the win. This was a very basic encounter with little of note taking place, as they kept things extremely simple throughout. However, it was a big win for Reid, and her character was developed due to her actions. Hank and Tank were shown backstage in a state of fury after being ambushed last week, with the belief being that it was the Culling who were responsible for it. However, Tatum Paxley's Dark Edge took control of the situation and manipulated the two men. She convinced them to defend their titles against the Culling next week, proving the power she now wields. With the match now set and mind games being played, the challengers might take full advantage and take over the division next week. Elsewhere, Dark State delivered a promo to remind fans exactly who they are, making it clear that they refuse to be forgotten in NXT. The ominous message obviously pointed toward the future, hinting at things to come. According to reports from Fightful, that will come in the form of a TNA appearance, which could be as soon as this Thursday, with their path of destruction seemingly taking them to the Impact Zone. There was a huge tag match on this week's NXT as Izzi Dame and Tatum Paxley faced Zaria and Sol Ruca in a match that left Paxley confused due to her friendship with her opponents. Ruca and Zaria were in the driving seat to begin with as they sent their opponents out of the ring. However, the heels regained control with a double team to Ruca. The ladies kept fighting through the next break as WWE gave them plenty of time to tell a story, and it ended up being the match of the night due to the back and forth action they were able to provide. It was a high-energy match as all four women looked to steal the show individually and as a team, leading to an encounter that fans wouldn't forget. Paxley saved Dame from a spear by Zaria, which led to her hitting Ruca by accident. Dame then got the win with a powerbomb to the North American champion, setting up a match for the title at the Great American Bash. After this week, it appears to be business as usual with Chase U. The group is seemingly back on the same page. As Andre Chase apologized to his students, he claimed that he would learn and was open to new ideas. However, this might set things up for a heel turn down the line, as the new students seem to have an ulterior motive for their actions and may not have Chase's best interests at heart. Still, a darker version of Andre Chase down the line would present a totally new and refreshing twist on his character, which would be welcome now. The next #1 contender for the NXT Championship was set this week in a singles match between Jasper Troy and Yoshiki Inamura in what was a hard-hitting match between two big men. While Inamura is a big guy, Troy made him look small, which served as a reminder of his size, and Troy dominated the early moments of this one as Femi watched on from backstage. Inamura fought back with some sumo moves, although that only annoyed his opponent, who may still be a little green, but was guided through by Inamura's experience. Ultimately, Experience won out against Brute Power as Inamura won with a big splash from the top rope, earning him a title shot against Femi at the Great American Bash. Fans didn't have to wait long to see what direction Troy would go in next either, as Javon Evans jumped him after the match ended. After the match, he launched himself from the top turnbuckle, catching Troy unaware to seemingly set up their feud. The storyline between Ricky Saints and Ethan Page was slightly advanced, as it was revealed that Saints will face off against the Vanity Project next week in a gauntlet match. If Saints overcomes them, he'll choose the stipulation against Page, and rumors point to a loser leaves NXT match. That will potentially set one of them up for a main roster push, possibly as the next addition to Seth Rollins' growing faction. We are ending with NXT's main event segment, as the show concluded with a promo from Jordynne Grace and Jacy Jayne, who are looking to hype up their upcoming NXT Women's title match at Evolution. To the surprise of nobody, things ended up getting physical. Fatal Influence had a numerical advantage, which left Grace in a tough spot. However, Blake Monroe was on hand to help her out, and that led to Ava setting up a major tag team match for the Great American Bash as the babyfaces stood tall to close out the show. That will mark Monroe's NXT in-ring debut, and the fact that WWE has saved it for such a significant event means all the eyes will be on her in that moment, adding plenty of pressure to the encounter. Ultimately, this week's episode of NXT felt like a filler show with very little of note taking place. If people missed this one, they won't have been impacted too badly, as there wasn't much in the way of storyline progression. There was enough throughout the show to keep people entertained, but it never got into second gear to become memorable. The women's tag team match was worth watching though, as all 4 women left it in the ring. The Black and Silver Brand's weekly show is usually live. However, considering the upcoming July 4th holiday, WWE pre-taped tonight's episode of NXT last week. Hence, Netflix has uploaded the entire show without ad breaks on its platform, while viewers watching on the CW network will have to watch the show like they do every week. However, with Evolution and the Great American Bash around the corner, this is set to be a busy time for everyone involved in NXT as things heat up in the coming weeks.